Hi everyone, so in this video I want to go over my fast execution platform and the way that I have it set up on Webull. In the first video, part 1, I went over my execution screen, which is right in front of me, and that was including Webull for charting and interactive brokers for execution, and you'll see the pop-up right here on this video for that first part of the video. In this video specifically, I'm going over my second screen, which is usually on my left side. As I mentioned in the first video, I prefer, after many years of trying to have more mobile setups, being sort of confined to a bigger setup, larger screens, I felt really restricted. And through other professions, as well as now into trading, I actually prefer being more mobile friendly. You know, if I'm traveling, if I'm in a different location, all I really need is 2 screens to be able to get going. I can use it on a laptop. And the way that I've set up my platform on Webull for charting, as well as my execution for interactive brokers, it can fit on almost any screen very comfortably and allows me to be more flexible so that I can trade basically anywhere in the world. In this video, I want to go over what I do to typically ensure that not only can I execute well, but I'm also able to have a bird's eye view of what's going on in the market, my specific stock that I'm looking at taking an entry on. I trade options in the US stock market, and as well getting an idea of what the other alternative time frames are showing, like the higher time frames. And as well, I have a main watch list and a secondary watch list. If I'm constantly switching through watch lists in front of me, I might miss a move. I might not be able to anticipate it. So by having a screen on my left side here, I'm able to get a bird's eye view of what's going on in the market, the different stocks that I'm looking at. So I'm going to go over that in this video. So the first screen as part of this setup is the daily chart that I have on my left side. It's not necessarily always there available. I'm usually watching my watch list, but this daily chart is what I typically use to chart pre-market, to get my levels ready to go, you know, where I'm looking to enter, where I'm looking to exit, areas where I'm looking to take profits. So this is the chart of Tesla. This is on the daily. We have the candlesticks, we have volume, we have the different critical levels that I'm watching. They're color coordinated so that I know what action I might need to take at those specific levels. For example, at 370, I've colored it green because I want to take a long position. So I'm going to look to see if there's an entry available, and the blue here, it's potentially a daily target, and then the purple is a secondary target. And then I also have volume, and then some moving averages like the 200 moving average, the 20 moving average, and the ATR, which is the average true range, just giving me an idea of, okay, I'm looking to take a position. How is the daily looking? I can even look here on the weekly and get an idea what the weekly chart's looking. And if it looks ideal, it just gives me more conviction to take the trade. So by having the ability to ensure that I can get a bird's eye view before the market opens and after market open, I'm able to make more refined decisions, have probabilities in my favor, and to ensure that, hey, I'm about to take a short-term position and the larger time frame is in my favor. By having this available to me really quickly on the left-hand side, and I can switch it really quickly, I'm able to then go onto the watch list as well, which is something I often watch for the first hour to 1 hour of the market open, 1.5 hours of the market open. And the watch lists are 2-minute charts. I execute on the 2-minute. It's my main time frame where I look for patterns. So I'm going to go over that a little bit here. And in order to get to the other screen, and if I have it on my left, all I'm doing is swiping, and I'm using a Mac. So by swiping, I'm able to switch to the screen right away. So again, 2 screens. One screen's in front of me, which is my execution. The way that I have it set up in a previous video, you can watch that. This is the left screen. So not only do I have the daily, but I can see the watch list of all of my favorite stocks. The main watch list that I have here, it's designed to show me my favorite set of stocks. So we have Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Tesla. I'm also looking at the market. on the 2-minute chart. Everything here is exactly the same. So if a setting changes on here, like I can see the different price levels, I can see the price alerts, it applies to all of the screens. And this is a floating window, so you can detach it and then have it set up the way you want. And if you look at the grid settings, I'm basically using one of the grid settings here, and you can decide this on any platform. Webull is the one that I've chosen to go with. So this is the main watch list. Again, if I swipe again, I have another desktop available to me. And in this desktop, this setup that I have for Webull, I'm looking at all the other secondary stocks that I typically watch on a day-to-day basis. And I have it organized in a specific way. You know, we got crypto or blockchain related stocks here. We have some of the tech. We have the same thing with BAs and sort of transportation. I have Tesla on this same square or rectangle. We have Hood. And then all the different stocks at the bottom are related to chips and some sort of AI related stuff. This can change throughout the year, but right now I have it this way because these are the stocks that I'm looking at long or short. And if something more interesting comes on the radar, I will make that switch, and I will be able to switch it really quickly, and I can just enter it here. I might even eventually have a third watch list, but I think that's a little bit much, and then my attention will be divided. By having these quick switching possibilities available to me on my left-hand side, I'm basically in the market looking at my execution, looking at the different references I have on the higher time frame, like the daily chart that I've shown, and then my watch list of stocks, I can see it on my left side here, and I'm just switching and making sure that I'm on top of what's happening in the market. Plus, when you're seeing similar price charts moving in a specific direction, if I'm watching Nvidia and Microsoft and Apple, they have a large percentage of the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. So if they're moving bullish, you know, generally speaking, I'm watching to see if everything else is following along. And if there's some sort of outlier, or if there's an advantage that I can play, like long or short, then that helps me sort of get an idea that, hey, look, I'm going to look for long plays because Nvidia's long, Microsoft's long, Apple's long. Hey, Tesla looks really weak and it's not as strong as the market. I think I'm going to go short if the market decides to pull back. So then I will look for QQQ and SPY to do a short-term pullback and then see how Tesla responds. So not only can I execute, but I can also reference it on my left-hand side here. And this makes it really easy, especially if you have a Windows-based computer or a Mac. You can make those switches really, really quickly. The third screen that I have available here on my left-hand side as a display, this goes over the hourly chart or a 4-hour chart or a 30-minute chart. Again, this will change to whatever stock I'm watching right in front of me. So if I make a switch to QQQ, this is the main screen, an execution screen I would have in front of me. And what you see right now would be on my left-hand side automatically switching. So I can basically switch to the hourly chart without having to look at a smaller chart in front of me. I have a bigger chart on my left-hand side, which is what you see on the screen right now. I often look at the hourly because I want to see the higher time frame trend. Hourly is like one of my favorite time frames in addition to the daily. But I also like the 4-hour. And the way that the 4-hour opens here on the Webull platform is this is the first candle of the market open. So another 4 hours of this gives me an idea. Hey, look, it's more likely to go bullish. I'm going to find a shorter term time frame entry and take in a position that way. So by having these different viewpoints available for me and not having to clutter it up on my main screen, I'm able to make a decision on going in a stock, going a specific direction without having the market necessarily fight with me. So by seeing everything in front of me in an execution screen, having the left screen to make decisions about different opportunities that might arise, seeing how the market reacts to specific stocks moving in a specific direction, or just simply using it to have a watch list available at all times, it just makes my process for trading that much easier because I don't have to worry about having 4 or 5 screens. I don't need to worry about the size of the screens. I just ensure that I have everything available to me and make switches necessarily whenever I need to. One more thing that I wanted to show here, in the previous video, I also had a screen where I was looking at the sort of snapshots of what I'm looking at, you know, like examples of the best possible scenario. I have another video coming out about this if it hasn't already been posted. And if it hasn't posted, you'll see the pop up here. But this is like my cheat sheet for trading. when I used to trade on Thinkorswim, as you can see, those are Thinkorswim charts, I had a chance to document a lot of my trading activity, and I was able to handpick the best setups that I could see based on the style of trading that I do, which is a 2-minute scalping or short-term position trading, specifically 2-minute, 5-minute, and using higher time frames to reference. So I basically have a cheat sheet of what I'm trading at specific times. If I see something that looks like a buy setup and it looks very similar, I'm ready to make a decision there. And just by having this cheat sheet, oftentimes over weeks and months, you're looking at, stock charts, candlestick charts, and they may not be the best quality. And you might be thinking to yourself, hey, you know what? This is normal now. But what is best to do in that scenario is just have an image or a reference point of what the best case scenario for price action should look like and what to watch out for. So by having this cheat sheet, and I can switch it on not just the screen in front of me, which is my execution screen, my main screen, but also on my secondary screen, because there may be a situation where I'm currently in a trade and I want to see this reference on the left side. So I'll have it available for me. Or I'm looking at the watch list, and on my main execution screen, I want to have this available to me. So by having this cheat sheet on both screens, or however many screens you need, you're able to access it really, really quickly. And then you don't need to worry about the fact that if you're kind of confused or caught up in the moment, because a lot of times price action can look like this, or it can look really clean. By having a visualization of the best possible charts, it helps me stay in tune and remember that, hey, if price action is not appearing correct, I don't have to take a trade, because as you know, cash is a position. You don't have to take trades if you don't see one. And unless you see a trade with a good probability, you can have A+ setups, you can have A setups, you can even trade B setups with smaller size. Whatever your risk appetite is, you should always have a reference of what the stock charts ideally should be looking like, so you can make a fair assessment in the moment without having to be worried that, this is okay, this is how stock charts have always been. I firmly believe that a visual reminder is really, really helpful. So I hope you gained some value from this video. Let me know in the comments below how you like to set up your platform, what platforms you use, and if you have any questions about the way that I've set it up. Thanks for watching.